What's up, fellas? Got a nice taper for y'all on straight hair. Let's lock in and pay attention. Always start off by combing that hair down. With straight hair, you really want to make sure that hair is in the place it's supposed to be. So comb all the hair down from the temple down so it's laying this course. Go right in with my 8 guard. He kind of wants to keep the bulk, so I go in flicking up at the top, not going too high, just knocking that hair down to a good length. This is an 8 open. As you can see in a minute, I will point out where not to touch. But as you can see, just really scooping out, not digging in, not going too high, not touching that top hair. So here I point out where not to touch. This goes for almost every head. Using the 8 going up, it does kind of set like a round shape to the hair. So if you want to make that hair look round in the back and he has a textured top, I would suggest doing this. So then for a taper, I'll just go right in. Just because we're keeping the bulk, I go in with my 1.5 open, scooping out just because it's easier for me to down fade from that and just create a nice compressed taper while keeping the bulk, as you will see by the end. But I go in with my 1.5 open, just scooping out. And then I go with my 4 guard, scooping out. That hair at the top, you do not want to touch. It looks like I am touching it, but I am not. I'm scooping out underneath it. Not touching it. As you can see, I move it out the way. If I do have a camera in my hand, so if I didn't have the camera, I would have a comb and I would just easily move that hair and scoop out underneath. But most kids like this hairstyle, so do not touch their bangs or anything on the sides. Then from there, I just down fade with the 3 open. Start with the 3 open. I went from the 4 out, did the open close method. When I'm trying to keep a nice compressed fade, I usually do open to close. So I went in with that 3, just debulked, open, and now I'm going to set my first little guideline on a triangle. I do this just because it's easier to keep the taper nice and small, compressed, crispy. So I always do this on a nice, smaller, low tapers. Keep it nice and compressed. Nice little triangle, not too big, not too small, So now I'm just going to set my first guideline. I'm going to go ahead with my Masters open. Going up 1/2 inch, flicking out, nice and small. Make sure everything is detailed. You do want that guideline to be nice and precise. I see I go right in, close, and I do the close to open method. As you guys know, if you watch my other videos, go at that line, that first line, close, go up, open it up a little more, and as you get to the top, it should be all the way open. Here, you just want to focus on detail work. Make sure you're getting that line out. Make sure it's all precise. Make sure it's completely out. That first guideline needs to be out. So focus on that. Then I go in with my 1 open, send another guideline flicking out. It will be harder to see this guideline just because I debulked from the 4 to the 3. So that's what it looks like. It's already faded pretty much. Just go in 1 open, set another 1/2 inch guideline, not digging in or anything like that. Then I grab my 0.5 and do the close to open method. Start close, go up a little bit, open it up, and keep going. On here, it's kind of tricky. You really just want to go with that barber's touch and see how you feel, not going up too high, but the 0.5 is pretty much the last thing you need here because it will pretty much blend pretty easy. But if not, go up to the 2 open and do not dig in with that 2. But I'm just using the corner work, focusing on detailing, getting them lines out that taper. And once that taper is finished, you go right in and just knock out that curve ASAP. As you guys know, I start from the bottom with the corner of my blade, just make a nice little C. Not all curves will have a perfect C, so you just got to use your barber's eye and create the best possible. Here, some C's are more slanted and not C-shaped, but his is kind of, as you can see, not perfect. But yeah, just take your time on this. Start with the bottom, then go to the top and meet it at the bottom. Look at that taper, man, nice and crispy. But before I'm done, go ahead and grab that shaver, make it more bald, make that taper pop even more. That taper is crazy, bruh. Crazy blend, perfect, nice and tight. And at the end, I always go back in detail, as you know. And you see a little bulk around the ears. Some people like to leave this. I just grab my 4 and scoop out, as it just makes it a little more like complete. It looks like it's blended a little more instead of the bulk around the ears. I do recommend that. I did use an 8, so I grabbed the 4 open and just scoop out. So that back taper to front taper, side taper will look real good. For the back taper, same thing, same rules apply. I did an 8, grabbed a 4, scooped out, open. Then I go right in with my 1.5, just take some of that bulk out. 1.5 open, not going too high, just going where I feel like the top of my fade will be at with the 1.5, and just scooping out. So it makes it really easy to create a good taper when you go in with that 1.5 before anything. Just because it's just easy to blend it. You don't have to worry about knocking more bulk out or anything like that. Set that guideline with the 1.5 and watch how easy it gets for you. From there, I just go put in my guideline, real simple, nice and easy, nice and neat. Make sure all your guidelines are neat. I cannot express that enough. So I'm not going to pretty much tell you guys how to do this like that because you guys should know how to do a taper by now. You just want to go in open, 1/2 inch, nice and neat. As you see, those guidelines are neat, neat, neat. Then once you do that, close the open method as usual. Per fade, per taper, same thing. Close the open method. That's what I use. That's what I feel like is the easiest for me, and I feel like it's the easiest for anybody. I've tried a lot of ways to fade and taper, and this has just worked the best. Now, you should have just followed the normal steps. A 1 open, set that guideline, take it out with a 0.5, and you should be here now. Where that bottom taper is faded out, and now you should be stuck with this. Looks like a harsh guideline, but it's not. So I go in with my 3 since I already debulked with a 4, and I just down fade. I use the 4, I use a 3 open, then I go 3 halfway, then I go 3 close. Just down fade it. I feel like down fading on this type kind of helps you out, keeps you on track. And if you do lose yourself, you just know what you debulked with, which was a 4. So you just always go from under that. Should make it a little bit easier. And now I'll grab the 2, same thing. My camera recording was bad on here, but this is 1.5. I grabbed the 1.5 and just went in at that line open, not going up any higher. Then I just put the lever, go close, just going down. You know, if it needs a 1, I feel like I did go to a 1. But it's just up to you. Some hair textures don't do that. His line was a little harsh to get out for me, but we got it out, man, and it came out crispy. Take your time on this, just down fading from the 4, 3, 2, 1, nice and crispy. So we did have a little more bulk at the top, so I just got a 4 guard and just scooped out to that, just doing some extra detail work, making that fade pop. So just be real careful on here. Don't go too high. Scoop out. As you can see, I'm really emphasizing that on my hand. Scooping at the hair, open, close. You got to get whatever you feel like is going to work for the hair. So all hair is different. I think I grabbed a 3, and I still down fade a little more. As you can see, that back taper is coming out pretty well. We're nice and crispy, man. There's a little guideline I do see on the left, but I do take care of it. As you can see, sometimes you have to turn the client just to get a little more like from any different POV, and that's what I did here. I grabbed 1.5, knocked at it from the side, and it came out pretty easy. So don't always just look at everything from the back side or the side. Sometimes you got to turn the chair, and that's what it takes to get up, as you can see. And now I'm just going to go right in and teach you guys how to do shear work. Make sure you're paying attention on this. This is my way to do shear work, and it's the easiest way. By the way, look at that taper with the back taper. That thing is crispy. That has an 8 all around with the 4 on the sides. Open. So first on the top shear work, you always start off by wetting hair. You can dry, but I do recommend using water. So I usually do from the middle side to side, straight down the back. But he said he wants an inch off, so I go grab an inch, which was an inch in my hand. And this is going to be my guideline. This is what I started with, a nice inch. Cut it straight across, and I go straight back. Not too much back. You want to go at piece by piece. Then it's another inch. You can from this angle, you cannot see the hair that's cut, but usually you can see the hair that's cut already that I cut that I'm pulling back. You just use that as a guideline. So as you see, I'm still doing an inch all the way back. Just follow this process till you get to the back. Don't go back in big gaps. You want to do it close every time you go back just because you want the hair all even. Once you're done with the middle, you comb it all forward, and then you go from the side. As you can see from here, the middle on the right side of my hand is shorter than the hair on the left side of my hand. That's your guideline. So you just follow that guideline, nice and easy. The right side is shorter than the left, cut it there. As you see here, the right is shorter than the left, cut it there. As you can see, that's the left side, cut it straight across. Keep going back. This is the easiest way for me. There's a bunch of different ways for scissors, so you kind of want to figure out what works for you best, but this is the way for me. Always comb that hair forward once done, and then this side, you want to do the same thing. The left side is a short part, the right side is a long. Go ahead and cut that, and just the same rules apply. As you go back, left side is shorter, right side is longer, cut it. And this is the easiest way for me. If this works for you, that's good. Just stick with this. As time goes on, you'll get better for sure. I was never the best at scissor work. I was always nervous when it came to scissor work, but I found this method and I stuck with it. Here I just texturize it. Texturizing is always the same. You can look this up or do it this way. You just basically want to cross cut it. Cut one way, a bunch of lines, then cut against it, a bunch of lines. Pretty simple. You can do it as much as you want. The more texture. And you do not want to close the scissors all the way. As you see, I'm barely closing it. It will cut some. Make sure the hair is wet because it can pull the client's hair and it was not a good feeling. But yeah, I just do it a lot just to make it a real texture look. Once I'm done, I just play with it a little bit and so you get that texture look. So I forgot to record the ending, but you guys seen the taper. This is that taper. Hopefully this helped you guys. Link to Discord in bio. I'll see you on the next one.